Good morning, everyone. I'm trying something a little bit new this morning. Um, Trying to stream this to YouTube so that it's shareable um, for other people. So the link is in our church's Facebook group, but it's coming to our YouTube feed. So I'll maybe pose some questions to see if this is helpful to you all in some way or another. But this morning, I'm thinking about this. When it rains, it pours. Anybody felt that? That's the way the saying goes. And I think about that these days, when it seems like it's been one thing after another. And as we're thinking about sacred spaces, I want to think about Noah and his family, quarantined on the ark for the duration of the flood. Talk about social distancing experts. The story says the rain fell for 40 days and 40 nights, and then it says that the waters swelled on the earth for 150 days. All said and done, that's 190 days on a boat, or about half of a year. And when it comes to COVID-19, we've been reckoning with this deluge of rising case numbers, hospitalizations, and deaths, and just disorientation for about half a year. Now, I don't want to make too much of that correlation. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to convince me that God caused the coronavirus or that it's a sign of judgment in any way. But I do want to say and give thanks for the fact that there's a story in the Bible that feels pretty relatable these days. So this morning, I want to share a portion of the story toward the end of the flood. It says this: at the end of 40 days, let me pull up a picture too, by the way. Forgot to do this. Let's do this picture to hear the story. One of my favorite artists, John August Swanson. Genesis 8. At the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark that he had made, and he sent out the raven. And it went to and fro until the waters were dried up from the earth. And then he sent out the dove from him to see if the waters had subsided from the face of the ground. But the dove found no place to set its foot, and it returned to him to the ark, for the waters were still on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand, and he took it and brought it into the ark with him. And he waited another 7 days, and again he sent out the dove from the ark. And the dove came back to him in the evening, and there in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. So Noah knew that the waters had subsided from the earth. Then he waited another 7 days and sent out the dove, and it did not return to him anymore. As I read the news release yesterday about the revised sports season for high school athletics this year, I reached out to some coaches that I knew just to check in on them. And one of them responded and said, "I'm just glad that we have a plan to play." I wonder if he would have said that that news almost felt like an olive leaf. We're sending out doves and ravens pretty regularly, it feels like, testing the waters, looking for land, for something, if not familiar, at least stable. You know, we believe on the night that Jesus was arrested, he prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, a place where folks believed there were most certainly olive trees. I wonder if Jesus lifted up his head from prayer and he saw the olive leaves that night and remembered this story that floods don't last forever, that waters go down in the meantime. You know, the church is the ark, not made out of gopher wood and held together by pegs, but made up by people, held together by prayer, and trust in a God who set a rainbow in the sky and who promises to see us through whatever comes, and at just the right times, to send an olive leaf to help keep us going. Thanks be to God, and I pray you be on the lookout for olive leaves this day. Amen.